was a legendary escape from a place that was supposed to be inescapable. 55 years ago this month, three men pulled off the impossible, breaking out of Alcatraz.
It was supposed to be impossible. Alcatraz, a prison built on a cold, jagged island in San Francisco Bay, even was designed to crush hope. But 55 years ago, three men did what no one thought they could. They escaped. And ever since, one question has echoed louder than the crashing waves. Did they make it? Alcatraz wasn't just a prison, it was the end of the line. A fortress for those the system couldn't control, perched over deadly waters that turned escape into a death sentence. From 1934 to 1963, the Rock housed America's most dangerous criminals, men like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly, under maximum security and minimum privilege. The rules were strict, the cells tiny, the isolation punishing. Even conversation was a privilege earned. Everything about Alcatraz was designed to make escape unthinkable. Guards outnumbered inmates, gun towers watched every move, and the icy currents of the bay finished what the walls started. In nearly 3 decades, 14 escape attempts were made. None succeeded, or so the world believed. Then came June 11, 1962. That night, 3 inmates, Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin, vanished from their cells. Dummy heads with real hair were left in their beds. Behind the walls, tunnels carved with spoons led to a vent and then to the roof. By morning, they were gone. The myth of Alcatraz cracked. No bodies were found, no clues confirmed. The prison's perfect record was shattered, not by violence, but by absence. And from that silence, a legend was born. Frank Morris was the mind behind it. Brilliant, calculating, and relentless, he had spent a lifetime escaping institutions. Orphaned at 11 and in trouble by 13, he was transferred to Alcatraz after escaping from Louisiana State Penitentiary. From the moment he arrived, he studied the Rock, and he planned. With the Anglin brothers and fellow inmate Alan West, Morris quietly crafted one of the most daring prison breaks in history. They dug through weakened concrete behind their sinks using makeshift tools, working late into the night and hiding the evidence by day. Morris wasn't chasing freedom, he was chasing perfection. They didn't just escape, they performed a vanishing act so brilliant, it rewrote the rules of confinement. With spoons, broken saw blades, and a homemade drill built from a vacuum cleaner motor, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers chipped away at Alcatraz's crumbling walls. Not with brute force, but with quiet genius. Every detail was accounted for. Morris crafted fake vent covers from paper mache and paint stolen from the prison workshop. During music hour, he played his accordion loud enough to drown the sound of drilling. This wasn't desperation, it was design. Over months, they sewed more than 50 raincoats into a watertight raft and life jackets, sealing them with steam pipes from the laundry. They even turned a concertina into an air pump. It was an engineering marvel disguised as a prison break, and yet officially the men drowned. That's what the FBI claimed. No bodies, no proof. Just a 2013 letter, a photo allegedly taken in Brazil, and whispers of Christmas cards seized in secret, enough to keep the mystery alive. The Anglin brothers were more than inmates. They were brothers forged in hardship, inseparable even in chains. Raised in rural Florida, 2 of 13 children, they learned survival young. After being shipped to Alcatraz for repeated escape attempts elsewhere, they were reunited with Morris, and their bond deepened into a plan. With Morris strategizing, the Anglins executed. They helped dig through the concrete, gathered supplies, and prepared every part of the raft in disguise. Their commitment to illusion was chilling. The dummy heads they left in their beds were sculpted from soap, toilet paper, and real hair swept off the barbershop floor. They painted the faces in flesh tones using stolen art supplies. Stuffed clothes beneath the blankets mimicked sleeping bodies. And the guards, trained, armed, vigilant, were fooled. By the time roll call sounded the next morning, the trio had vanished. The deception was layered. They covered their escape holes with cardboard grills painted to match the prison walls. To a guard's quick glance, it looked like a sealed vent. In reality, it hid a tunnel. The rock, it turned out, had cracks, and Morris found every one of them. What made the escape legendary wasn't just the digging or raft building. It was the mastery of psychological warfare. Like magicians, they turned their cells into a stage, performed a flawless illusion, and disappeared into history. FBI agent Michael Dyke put it best. They didn't just dig out, they rehearsed a performance. It wasn't just an escape, it was a message. Even in the tightest cage, the mind can find a way out. The Alcatraz escape didn't rely on luck. It was carved, inch by inch, into the very bones of the prison. Morris, the Anglin brothers, and Alan West exploited a hidden weakness: salt-damaged concrete behind air vents under their sinks. With spoons, saw blades, and a vacuum cleaner motor drill, they quietly dug escape tunnels over months, always during music hour, with Morris's accordion covering the noise. They disguised their work with fake vent covers made from paper mache and painted to blend into the wall. The tunnels led to an unguarded utility corridor, and from there to a secret workshop above the cell block. Hidden in an aging structure no one monitored. There they stitched together more than 50 stolen raincoats into a 6x4 fish raft and life vests, sealing seams with steam pipes and inflating it with a homemade pump fashioned from a concertina. On the night of June 11, 1962, they launched from the island's northeast shore. The tide was frigid, the current deadly. Yet by morning they were gone. All that remained: a found paddle, a waterproof bag of belongings, a fragment of raft, and a mystery. Officials believed the men drowned, the currents too strong, the water too cold. But others, including escape investigators, pointed to the sophistication of the plan and the tidal timing, which scientific models later suggested could have allowed success. And then there was Alan West, the fourth man, who never made it. His tunnel was too narrow. He miscalculated. As he chipped frantically at the last bit of concrete, the others left. West, left behind by inches, later told authorities everything: the tools, the route, the plan. But even his full confession couldn't explain one thing: what happened after the raft slipped into the dark. Alan West's confession became the blueprint for the manhunt that followed. He mapped out the escape route from the utility corridor to the roof and revealed their intended destination: Angel Island. He even pointed authorities to items like a paddle and personal effects. But the others were never found. Some speculated they suspected West might talk and change course. While West avoided the icy waters, he lost his shot at freedom. Yet his detailed testimony remains the most complete insider account of the escape, making him a vital witness to history's most daring prison break. Then, in 2013, over 50 years later, a mysterious letter arrived. Allegedly from John Anglinman, it claimed, "We all made it, but barely." The writer said Morris died in 2005, Clarence in 2008, and he himself was dying of cancer, willing to surrender for medical care. The FBI reopened the case. Forensic tests were run. Handwriting, DNA, and fingerprint analysis followed. But the results? Inconclusive. The letter was compelling but not provable. The public didn't even learn of it until 2018 when CBS broke the story. This fueled long-standing rumors: Christmas cards to family, sightings in Brazil, even a 1975 photo of two men resembling the Anglins. Whether real or hoax, the letter revived the legend. The case, technically still open, saw new age-progressed images of the men released in 2022. Proof that officials haven't given up entirely. Then came science. In 2014, Dutch researchers used tidal models to simulate the night of the escape. They found a 1-hour window between 11 p.m. and midnight when the currents could have carried the raft safely to Angel Island. The cold water, long blamed for the men's presumed deaths, might not have been the barrier once believed. So did they drown or disappear? Did they die in the bay or vanish into quiet, lawful lives? The Alcatraz escape lives on, not just as a prison break, but as an enduring symbol of defiance, ingenuity, and the human will to be free.